getting our hands to the fire and letting YouTube catch up with us here to make sure everyone gets the welcome. So we're going to just let it do its thing here really quick. And I'm going to get to work on sharing.
Yeah, John, you can start sharing, but you still got to give the people what they want. And what the people want is a good.
What do they want?
They want a good
John. Well, I can definitely give you that. All right. Well, you guys, enough stalling, enough kidding around. We got some serious business today. First of all, you guys, it's a comic book look, proudly sponsored and partnered with Rainbow Comics here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, as well as Lincoln, Nebraska. It's your boy, John on Demand, a.k.a. Matt Murdock, with this sexy beanie that I'm wearing. I'm just solving all the law problems tonight with my comic book gospel, so I'm bringing it to you straight Dare Disney style. Of course, you guys joined by co-CEO Tom Devine. There can only be one. And I see we're both just rocking the meanest hats tonight, so we're so excited. February 3rd, Wednesday, the comic book Sabbath. I'm going to let Tom bring the gospel to you here. I got some sharing to do, so you're going to see me tickling the keys over here like Elton John with a Jon.
Okay. Yes, indeed. The Jon, tickling them keys. But thank you so much for introducing me. As you guys know, TOMMYD, Tommy D in the cut. And we got a really good episode for you guys today, no doubt about it. But before I get all the way into this episode, which we are going to be, knocking out new comics, we're going to talk about some comic news. We're going to talk about the comics we picked up today because today's New Comic Book Day. And as always, that's what a comic book look does, is we buy comics and we talk about them. We talk about the culture, though, as well. And so I have to say, Rainbow Comics, the spot that I love, my LCS, the place I visit every Wednesday. Just so happened, as you guys may have heard a few weeks ago, they sold out of some of the comics that I wanted to get. And I didn't get there on lunch on comic book. I didn't get there till after work and they were gone. But guess what? Old Tom Devine got in the mail today. Rain Like Hammers. I had to order it through some gray websites. Who knows what? Not nearly as cool as an LCS. But I got it. I'm so stoked about it. Rain Like Hammers. This, you guys know, I've been talking about Brandon Graham since the beginning of a comic book look, from Prophet to Multiple Warheads. This guy is like as on the same level as Mobius. Look at this panel right here. This is like some futuristic mall. I want to live in this mall. It's just like some crazy anime, and it is beautiful, and everything is beautiful. And I love this more than anything. And I didn't pick it up today. It came out weeks ago. So if you guys have it at your shop, you should definitely get it. But I did want to read a little bit of something from this book. So it's Rain Like Hammers. It's by Brandon Graham. He draws it and he, I think he, inks it. He colors it. He probably does the whole thing. I don't know. Maybe someone else inks it. Nope, color editor. But other than that, it looks like he's the color guy. So he does this whole entire thing, writing and drawing. And there is clearly nobody else that even does anything like it. It's very inspired by anime, very inspired by manga, very inspired by 80s and 90s culture. But one of the really cool things that it said in the back after I read it, I was absolutely blown away. He kind of breaks it down and he says, like comic process up here in the corner. So it kind of breaks down what his process is. And I thought this was really interesting. So I'm going to butcher this word, but it says, Ayashi is a Japanese for healing, a term used for manga created with the purpose of having a healing or soothing effect. And he talks about his favorite comic, The Walking Man from 1992, that does that. And then he does a little, little shout out to it. But it's about a book that focuses on a man, as he says it. Its chapters focus on things like getting caught in the rainstorm, running home to take a hot bath, or the main character walking his dog and finds someone's lost lipstick and decides to leave it on a bench. And he says that this book that he's putting together is kind of similar to that. Like he wants it to be a book about, healing, and it's like about the process. And this is not like any other comic out there. It blew me away. I absolutely loved it so much. I give this a full 12 out of 12 12 out of 6 beers. It was absolutely amazing. I can't wait to read the rest, and I'm sure it'll be a full keg by it's all said and done. So I am super stoked about that. So I know I told John I was going to talk about me getting my comic book. Oh yeah, drop it like it's hot, Johnny boy. I was going to talk about getting my comics books today, but I'll tell you what, it wasn't that exciting. So instead, I wanted to talk about running my cameras and how awesome this book was. I got to tell you though, man, it like when those kind of books come about, it's like I could just forget every other comic and just read this. Every single page is an absolute delight. It's so original. It's so unique. It's so understated. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Heck yeah. We got just a couple of comments streaming through here. So first of all, Sarge is weighing in here. You had an 8-second show. I don't think so. We're definitely flying through it, though, the content. But no, we're still going strong, Mike. Relax. James is in the building. Thank you so much for tuning in, James. Good evening, gents. Good evening to you as well, sir. Thank you so much. And then Sarge, of course, writes, it's bedtime. Oh, bother. I got it, man. Dude, it's a school night, though. I hear that, man. It's like, with work and everything. I don't know. For me, my main thing is like when I talk about comic books, it's like taking shocker cables to my heart, and it just gets me going. You're like, let's do this. So, all right.
Ain't that the truth, John? Ain't that the truth?
Ooh, Matt is in the building as well. You both look extremely warm tonight. Yes. Yes, you got to stay warm out here in South Dakota. It's rough.
I know it's going to be like -7 this coming couple days, and we got like 40 degrees today. So it was really nice. But I'm about to say bye-bye.
Well, speaking of temperatures, we got a kind of a new segment that we wanted to do here, right?
That's right. And to blast in this new segment, I have a sound effect, John. So you ready?
I'm ready.
We are coming with a hot take here. Me and John, there's hot news, and we got that sound effect means that it's time for our first segment. And so we are going to be taking a hot take on a news article that I shared with John, but I thought this was pretty cool, John. I know you looked at it quick. What do you think? Tell these guys, what's the news story? What are we talking about? And then I'll break it down.
Absolutely. All right. So you guys, in a nutshell, hot take. First of all, I love that sound effect, and it makes me so happy. So I'm totally cheesing out over here. And I've only had one sip of beer, so it truly is just me giggling about this. But with that, celebrity involvement with comic books is so exciting, and it's just something that we don't get to see like too much of, so with that, Keanu Reeves is dipping the old foot. We did the video game thing, right? So that's old hat at this point for a good old Keanu, right? So now we're dipping into the comic book pool here with
it's
Keanu
crazy
Reeves.
I mean, you're exactly right. Cyberpunk came out this year, right? And he is a main character in that video game. And so it must be something like the internet loves Keanu now. All the sad Keanu memes and the depressed Keanu memes are great. Everybody loves Keanu. Bill and Ted had a third movie, so everybody loves Keanu. So what do you do? Of course, if you're Keanu, you make a video game or you get yourself in one of the biggest video games that ends up failing a bunch, but I like it. And then what do you do next? You make your own comic book. And he's like the main character of this comic book. And it's out from Image Comics. It's called Berserker. It's going to be out in 2 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks. And it's co-written by Matt Kindt. And if you guys follow my Twitter, I have a saying, if Matt Kindt writes it, I read it. Here's a little sneak peek of one of the books that I bought today. Matt Kindt, I love this guy. He thinks so far outside the box. This is the perfect writer to usher in Keanu. I have to assume Keanu was like, wow, you're much better at storytelling than me, Matt Kindt. I will let you do most of this work. And Keanu's taking the title, and that's fine. But I am going to be picking up Berserker #1. One of the things that I thought it was interesting, John, is that it's from Boom. I might have said Image. I meant to say Boom. It's from Boom Studios, and it will be already with pre-orders. It's the most ordered Boom comic book of all time. So there will be more of this single comic than any other one. And I think
except for Power Rangers, right?
I don't know how it didn't beat Power Rangers, but I guess that's according to John. He knows.
Yeah, I mean, I know the inside scoop. Power Rangers is always gold medal.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they're selling about 7 million, 6 million every issue. So that's where they're at right now. But I thought that was crazy that, you know, we got Keanu jumping into comics. We got Matt Kent moving away from Dark Horse, and we have, you know, them coming together at Boom, blasting out big numbers. It started with like a $1.4 million Kickstarter. Now they're just, you know, you're going to be able to get it at your LCS. So, you know, it's going to be out in a few weeks. Make sure you let your LCS know early that you're going to want an issue. They got like 60 covers, so who knows what variant cover you're going to want.
Dude, absolutely. Oh, man. Bill from Comic Book Bears is in the building. Oh, thank you, Bill, so much for tuning in. That's awesome. Thank you so much, and hello to you, too. Happy Comic Book Sabbath, a.k.a. Wednesday.
That's right. That's right. Thanks for joining us, Bill. You know, John is the biggest fan. All right, John. So, you know, that's all I had to say. I don't, you know, it is what it is.
Right. And the temperature is starting to drop a little bit. The hot take's been hot. But can I get that sound effect one more time?
Yeah, let's see if I can find my sound effects machine around here.
I just gotta do that. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh man, that's so wonderful.
All right. So John, let's talk about the books we bought today. And if you guys have anything to say about that Keanu book, you know, leave it in the comments below or comment on your stuff. But we want to hear if you guys are picking up that Keanu book, or if you're not going to pick it up because you think it's going to be a waste of time. And now let's talk about the comics we picked up today. John, what are you picking up? What do you got?
Man, well, first of all, a really quick question that I probably should have asked you. How many did you get?
Not very many. 4.
Not many? Okay, no worries. Well, I'm going to strategically group them so I can complement the flow.
Yeah.
So first of all, you guys, I'm going to hop onto the old X-Men train. So millions of offerings, of course, this week from the Krakoa situation in Marvel Comics. But each one of them I am loving equally. So I am just a proud parent of like 20 million X titles, and I'm loving every single one. So Hellions, issue number 9. And let me tell you what, Mr. Sinister on the cover, dude, I cannot get enough of Mr. Sinister. It is the funniest rendition of the character ever. Tom, I highly recommend you scope this out. Like, you can totally rock my copies if you want. You've got to read it because he is sassy and fierce and just completely opposite from the 90s cartoon. And that cape is just eternal. Like, I just dig it. So highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. And it's a random group of characters where everything just goes wrong. And I love it so much.
Yeah, I mean, I have to borrow, like, probably in a year from now, I'm gonna have to borrow all of these side X titles that you've just been talking up so highly. I can't wait to check them all out.
Yep. Oh, and you guys, our viewers are definitely reading my mind here. James with the win. X Factor was my next one in line here, so James, completely agree. Definitely love it. James also said, "Gay sassy bitch Sinister is the best," which I completely agree. It is the funniest and awesomest rendition of the character ever. Way more personality than from, like, you know, when he was in the comics previously, and even in the cartoon, he was a little flat. But now it's Tom. You'll see a difference. I promise. First of all,
cannot wait.
Yeah, dude, it's great. X Factor issue 7. Can we just talk about? I love this cover. When I saw the preview for this one, I was like, first, like, dude, Boy getting his own, like, just boom, like, prominent on the cover there. It makes me so happy. And then Polaris just being awesome with her green powers, green hair everywhere. She's like, "Hey, Tom, there's actually a variant where it has a comic bubble saying Tom is awesome from a comic book look." So
I'm like, "Hey, what's up, Polaris? What's up?"
What's up? And then finally, this one kind of annoys the hell out of me, but Marauders did a one-shot, evidently, for King in Black. So I got it because it's technically tied to Krakoa. I am not a fan of it, per se, but I don't know that we needed to go this far. But hey, Marvel, I'll throw in a couple bucks. I mean, why not? Let's play.
And it is a one-shot, so it's a Marauders, and it's not even a part of the series, huh?
Right.
Wow, that's cool. I mean, look, I look at it in 2 different ways. Okay. You know, you can thank them if you're not following both of these things that you have to pick this up. And so, you know, you could just go on and not pick it up, or you could look at it as in, like, now I got to pick up an extra book. But when it is those smaller titles or those side titles and they do one shots, that's still sometimes kind of cool.
Good God. Okay. All right. But yeah, that's where I'm at with Krakoa Train. I'm so excited to read them. I actually, last week's reads that we talked about, I had a chance to crank through those. They were great issues, and especially that Imperial Guard with X-Men.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, well, I'll get right into it. I teased it earlier, you know, that Matt Kent, he's my man. If he writes it, I read it. And so we got Fear Case. This is a number one. All of my books today are new books. So I know I won't be reading all of these from here on out, but I can almost guarantee you I will be reading this. I have not read it yet, but like I said, Matt Kent, he's a writer who thinks outside the box. He does not follow linear storytelling. He plays with storytelling tropes, plays with comic books. He's as close to intellectual comics as you kind of get in the Dark Horse area, and I absolutely love him pushing boundaries. So really excited to get into this one.
Dude, heck yeah. Got a comment here from Mr. Matt. Please tell me the Marauders one-shot is about a Venomized Lockheed. I got to be honest with you. Everyone's Venomized at some point, it looks like. But it actually, upon flipping through, I don't see that occurring, unfortunately. So spoilers. It will not probably occur in this one, but I didn't look through like every single page.
I want a Venomized Lockheed. I want that to be a one-shot on Lockheed, and he's venomized. What are you going to even do for word bubbles? I mean, what could potentially even happen in that book? But Matt, I say you start writing that, baby. We'll get somebody to draw it.
Heck yeah. All right. Up next, I got the best. Any guesses on what the best Batman offering was this week?
No, I didn't. I got to be a future state, I guess. It's all DC future state.
Yeah, sure. So I go for I only get top shelf stuff, you guys. I don't have time for that $3.
Good setup, John.
I don't do that, right? So I only do the top shelf shit. So this is the good stuff.
Can't wait to see
Man-Bat. But he is just slaying that bat signal like you wouldn't believe. If you guys don't know, I have a very strong, passionate heart for the villains of Arkham Asylum and Batman in general. They're the most iconic lineup of villains ever, and they're just so great. And so Man-Bat's one I don't know as much about. The last issue I think that I got surrounding him, like focused on him, I think was when they did those lenticular covers for not You're the Villain, but what was the other one? You know what I'm talking about, where they like crossed out Superman and had Lex Luthor #1, but it was like Superman 34 or whatever. I can't remember what the event was, but like I got all the lenticulars and I was freaking out at the time and spent so much money on that. And it was just so fun to see this. So I was like, yeah, I'm totally gonna rock with this. And there's evidently an issue too. I'm in. Let's do it.
I mean, the last time I was reading Man-Bat was like in Detective, and he was actually like a really cool character that was like fleshed out and really trying hard not to, be evil. But yeah, the sometimes the arches that those characters take, like Clayface and Man-Bat, they're so good.
Yep. Matt weighed in here. I really enjoyed Matt Kent's Exo Manowar series, where he's living out on an alien planet, living his best barbarian life.
I love it. I own them all as well. I mean, man, I love that one. I think, and Exo Manowar's not supposed to be very good, is the kind of the thing, and that's why I think Matt Kent. When Valiant did that entire thing, I was really into it. Another favorite writer of mine, Elliot Rahal, he had some comics through there as well that were super, super enjoyable. I need to go back to Valiant. I haven't read that in a while. But yeah, so my next book, Johnny,
let's do it,
is Deep Beyond #1. They had like, I don't know if this is like highly sought after, or people were thinking that this was coming out, or they knew about it. I don't know. There was 4 different covers. I'd never heard of it. I did not know it was coming out. It's created by Mirka Andolfo and David Goy, Andrea Prosardo, and Barbara Nocinzo. I mean, I butchered every single one of those. Definitely apologize. I'm an absolute idiot when it comes to pronouncing names. But I never heard of it. I had 4 covers. I was like, Rainbow bought a bunch of them. So I was like, I guess it's going to come out. I don't know who these creators are, but I'm checking it out. Deep Beyond. We'll see what happens.
Can you show me just one of the inside pages really quick? Because that's the artist that did that Mercy series that I was head over heels with. And I just want to see what she looks like. Yeah. Yeah, I might need to get my hands on that one. Deep Impact, you said?
Deep Beyond. Yeah, they definitely had enough.
I'm going to send them a little note here to the shop and see if they can send
it definitely. I thought the art was good enough that I was going to definitely check it out.
Yeah, no, she does. It's just really cool. Like I love Mercy from start to finish, and so yeah, that's one I'm starting to become a creator loyalist. I think you'd be proud of me.
No, that's awesome. So yeah, definitely go pick it up, John. Check it out.
All right, can you save me a copy of
Deep Beyond #1? And I gotta say, it looks like it's like either. Is it underwater, outer space? It looks like underwater, and I will say there's another like Sea Creatures from IDW that's underwater that was pretty dang good, but had really bad, dialogue at the beginning, but ended up doing really well. And then Wednesday Comics were talking about it, and they said that they are I think Alex and Marvin both said that they're very afraid of being underwater, and underwater situations make them uncomfortable. I get it. I don't have that same feeling, but dude, super stoked. Check that one out.
Bill weighed in here. I think the new 52 event was called Villains Month, occurred around their 24th issues, which sounds correct. Good job, Bill. Thank you. I just was like, what was it called? Because I loved it so much. Yeah. And then there was like Villains United or something too. They do a lot with villains, it seems, at DC. No wonder I have an affinity towards them. So much more appreciation than Marvel. Marvel needs to take note. Also, just speaking of Wednesday Comics being afraid of being underwater, you know what else they're afraid of? The upcoming book club. About Dark Avengers. Yeah.
Yes. So for people who don't know, Wednesday Comics podcast, really cool podcast. Guys, you guys have, if you watch our show, you may have seen some of them on here. But they do a book club, and their next book club book is Dark Avengers Volume 1. That's the comic that birthed a comic book look. And so they have asked me and John to be on the show. So definitely keep your ears open for that Wednesday Comics podcast when we get a guest up here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? I'm going to show this off here really quick because, we get invited to do a book club and they're talking Dark Avengers. And I'm like, your boy has you covered because I love Dark Avengers. I have a tribute wall. Oh, my gosh. So good. So good. I'm so excited to talk about it. It'll be fun.
You're in trouble when you invite a guy who has a tribute wall to this comic club.
Yeah, Alpha Flight, Dark Avengers. I got you, boo. Got you. Bill weighed in for Forever Evil was after that, which is
I remember that.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm horrible at remembering, the event names after a while. It just starts to kind of run together a little bit, and you're like, yeah, I have that. Bill, I need to be more like you. Sorry, I let you down. All right. What are we on? Me?
Yeah, I think so. Or is it up to me?
Yeah. I will hop in again here. I got two more Marvel offerings here. First, Strange Academy issue number 8. So issue 7 came out pretty recently, so it's kind of interesting to see such a quick turnaround, but still such a fun title. The youth of the magical side of the MCU, getting to know some new characters. I guarantee you we'll probably be seeing some of them around in some capacity in the future. And then when I do, I'm going to be like, boom, had their appearance. Loved it. Venom issue 33. We're still in the King of Black event right now. I went with this cover just because I thought it was delightful with Null coming out of his mouth. I thought that was pretty interesting rendition. Overall, I've been liking the event. Just some of the add-ons get a little tedious with money, so I don't buy them all because I'm like, why does Namor care about this?
He doesn't.
Yeah, even though they say he does and it's canon and it's Marvel, I'm not gonna acknowledge it. So
of course, Disney wants to take all your money.
All my money. Bill, Jesus, no, save yourself, John. Yeah.
Thank you, Bill. He needs to hear those words sometimes, Bill. I'm telling you, he doesn't save himself ever.
All right, what do you got, Tom?
All right, sorry. Next up, I got a book where it just the cover took it for me. I mean, look how trippy and cool this one looks. So I'm into psychedelics. I'm gonna totally get this. Luna. Oh, my boy got it too. All right, John. Yeah.
I saw this cover popped out at me exactly the same. I'm like, that looks different. Crab. I'm like, it's Boom Studios. They've been on a roll. It's a #1. I'm going to give it a whirl, see how I like it.
I agree. I flipped really quick through. The art, it looked a little bit I wonder if I can find the page that I saw. It looked like a little not like extremely clean what I liked, but then there was like the one I went to was real trippy, and here it was. This is what I opened up to. And so like when I was like, oh dang, dude, oh, we can't show that on Facebook. Nipple. Let me censor this nip. Got a little nip slip there. But it looked really, really cool. So, you know.
Oh shoot. No, agreed. I saw that page too, and I'm like, all right, you know, I'll rock with it. It's so fun because sometimes I just find myself like, what the hell did I just buy? And then other times I'm like, dude, I really love this story, you know. So I'm really curious to see how it goes. Oh, Scott Beyer, I'm digging the beanie, John Runyon, aka Sioux Falls Daredevil. So he's our resident superhero. I love you, Scott. Miss you, man. All right. Well, I have 2 more books technically, and they all go together. So what are you looking at? Oh,
I got one left, so I'll just do mine quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Maniac, New York. We got Elliot Kalin and Andrea Muddy. It is a Aftershock comic. Know nothing about it. Maniac in New York. Definitely taking a chance. I'm not always a horror comic. I'm not always just like a killer comic. So we'll see if I like this or if I don't. But I'm definitely going to take a shot. I know I like to support Aftershock. I think they do some pretty cool stuff sometimes. So giving it a shot.
Dude, absolutely, hands down. So I was tuned in. The old comic book bears get me in trouble sometimes. So I tuned into that Star Wars special, and there was mention about the Star Wars High Republic comic book that came out. So first of all, let me tell you about comic book bears and their Star Wars specials. Tom, there's CSI level, and then there's comic book bears level. So
hell yeah, dude.
Not only did they go through like movies, recent television offerings, they hit novels, they hit comic books, and I was like, yes, like continuity junkies beyond anything that I could hope to accomplish. But I was like, I can keep up with this because I'm doing my audiobooks, I'm reading my comic books. I still got 000 and BT1 hanging out with me here on my desk. And I love me some Star Wars. And so the recent audiobook, I just finished Ahsoka, the novel, and on Audible. And I just was like, I gotta check out this High Republic. So High Republic, the High Republic issue number 1, gone at Rainbow and at a lot of shops, evidently. So they were talking about that on the show of how it flew. So I picked up issue number 2 because I'm not a chump. I'm not going to have it happen to me twice. And then I talked to Derek at Rainbow, and he was like, yeah, second prints came out, but we never got it. So that's weird. And then third printings come out soon too. And I'm like, I'll take you up on whatever. I just want to read the damn thing.
Totally, man.
So I do got issue 2.
Cool.
Which came out today, and I'm really excited to check it out. I have no idea what it entails. They talked about it a little bit on the Comic Book Bear show, but I was like, la la la, I'm gonna get it. Don't spoil it for me. So I was like, I'm already interested. Let's go. The other thing that I picked up is we joke about buzzwords sometimes. Yeah. So at the top here, I just saw villainy, and I was like,
yeah, I was sold.
Yeah, I'm in, right? So issue number 3, we got an evil-looking Wookiee on here, so I'm hoping that that's the situation. And then, of course, I had to pick up issues 1 and 2 to complete them so far. So Star Wars Adventures, this is an IDW offering, which is so interesting to me with, Marvel doing a lot of the other books. But I recently read like a Smuggler's Adventures from IDW as well, which was fantastic. And so I was like, if the quality of these is like that, I'll support IDW and throw some money. Like, let's do it. So I am so excited to check that out. I'm excited to get my hands on number 1 of High Republic from Star Wars, and just see where the galaxy takes me. But very encouraged by that. And let me tell you what, it's nice to get back in a headspace of just tuning into an audiobook when you're off work, when you're driving around town, stuff like that. So it's been pretty cool, man.
That's awesome, dude.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't get that comic, the first one. Will you read issue 2 before getting issue 1?
You know me.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say, because then you're really changing a new leaf here, John. If you're like, yeah, I already read it, I'd be like,
nope.
What? No.
Yeah. Nope. I don't have time for that. Yep. we don't do that. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. Oh, we got a couple more from Mr. Bill here. Levette looks like a major talent.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think this book is going to be really amazing. So excited.
Yes. And then IDW Star Wars books are pretty subversive for all ages books. And I agree. Like when you look at some of them, it's like, oh man, this is like for my nieces or whatever. But the Smugglers one was so fun. Like it felt like I watched a movie, and it was a thick book, right? And the experience that I had as a reader is what really drew me into it. Like I don't really care if this is like made for 8-year-olds or it looks like it is. There's some good content in here, and it's a lot of fun. And it just took me back to the original movies. It took me back to some of the novels that I had read. And that for me is why I buy comics, is how does it make me feel? What memories does it bring up for me? That kind of stuff. So I'm all about it. I think that it's a really cool offering. I'm really weirded out that IDW is doing it, but they're doing a really good job. So
yeah, I mean, I would like one of those explain it to me like I'm 5 of why why is Marvel why is Disney allowing the license to go to IDW for the all age Star Wars books when they have a publisher that's doing comics and putting out Star Wars comics right now? And it could be confusing, but because it's all ages, is that the only differentiator? I don't know where that's all going, but it's interesting. I definitely would rather support IDW any day than another pure Disney company. So yeah, that's cool.
Yep, agreed. Well, that was my stack for the week, and it was a really generous one. I mean, I was just like, okay, I'm going to pump my brakes here before I hit the big 5-0. So definitely wanted to behave myself there. But yeah, it was a really good week. And I'm excited to read Luna, man. Just something new. And Tom, you got me on this track of non-superhero books. Like I'm chomping at the bit for the next Walk with Monsters, with the next autumnal. So
I love it, John. I am as well. But yeah, I'm super excited. So yeah, guys, but once again, I'm going to bring it back from the beginning. If you tuned in late, Rain Like Hammers. This is the best book of 2021 so far. I'm so in love with it. Brandon Graham is a treasure to all of us. So yes, I just want to remind you of that. But yeah, I got nothing else, John. Let's shut it down.
We got further reading to talk about for a second,
right.
actually. So further reading, which we don't have an awesome sound effect for, which you totally should.
I know. I'm going to find. I got to get into it. I'll have that ready for next week.
So further reading, I actually have Friday and Saturday off entirely intentionally. I do work on Sunday, unfortunately. But I am looking forward to just getting caught up on, I'm going to do a little bit of audiobooking, but then I actually have past these, I'm going to get these bad boys read. And then backstock wise, I'm actually excited to dive into the topics. So I call it doing research, where I buy lots of backstock. And I got a ton about DC Comics Ragman, that when he appeared in the Arrowverse, I totally fangirled out and bought all these books like 3-4 years ago, whenever he came out. And I just haven't read them yet. So I have I have a couple of short boxes of things I have to read yet, and then get them filed. And so that's my plans, is to read all of these and then hit some backstock and continue freeing up space in here. So
yeah, man. Isn't that nice when you do eventually have that time? You're like, yeah, I will read all these. And then you're like, will I ever? And then you do. You're like, I knew I would. I'm glad I bought that.
I did.
So yeah, that's awesome. The things I'm going to be catching up on back a few, on my comics. I still have a stack of backlog. I am reading Bonfire of the Vanities. I'm really enjoying it. I'm about 400 pages deep, so it has been taking a lot of my reading time, has been going to prose instead of comics, but I still make sure there's plenty of time for comics. Like I said, I read that Rain Like Hammers. I've already read like 2 or 3 times because it blew me away. And so this next week, I would like to finish Bonfire of the Vanities. If I finish that, and then I'm going to just crack in really hard. It is Super Bowl Sunday, so I am a football fan as well. So that will be down. That will cut down on my. That I know you're such a huge fan, John, that you've been watching every stat. Every point.
Yeah, I am. Get all the points. I mean, home runs all around for this game. I'm so excited to see how these two guys do when they swing the bat.
Thank you, John. Yes, it's going to be a lot of fans swinging at the Super Bowl.
I didn't even know it was Super Bowl until Ken pointed it out to me, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So
That's why I love you, of course. But that's a big reading day for me. So that will be taken away a little bit, but I'll still get a bunch done in the morning. And other than that, I mean, another week full of treats for my brain to consume.
Of course, yeah. Well, awesome, you guys. We had a fantastic evening this evening. Thank you so much, first of all, for all of the people stopping out. Shout out to Comic Book Bears and the Bear community for just rocking out with us tonight. Love you guys, and it's just so humbling. Bill, we would love to have you as a guest on the show, so let us know. We would definitely love to talk some books, talk some shop with you. It'll be fun. You guys were Comic Book Look. Here's your boy, John on Demand, @John on Demand on Twitter, and then @Tom Stu Divine on Twitter. Or if you want us both or all, @ a Comic Book Look. Simple as that. We are proudly sponsored and partnered with Rainbow Comics. So if you're in Sioux Falls area, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, stop by 42nd in Minnesota and say hello. It's a stellar group there. And then if you're in Lincoln, Nebraska as well, same thing. We got an awesome group there as well, ready to help you out with any comic book questions and needs that you got.
I was there this weekend. I forgot to say, John. Yeah, I went to Lincoln this weekend. My sister-in-law lives there. So we went to go see my nephew, and I stopped in at Rainbow, of course. So, I get down there every once in a while.
That's awesome. Yeah, my brother's in Lincoln, so I probably should get there at some point. Oh, here we go. Boom.
Let's book it. That's right, Bill.
That's what we like to hear, Bill. That's right. James, thank you so much for tuning in, man. We appreciate you. We'll see you next week for sure, man. And we just appreciate you taking time to connect. All right, you guys, we're going to shut it down here. Again, with Rainbow Comics, feel free to check them out on Facebook. Great group of people. Like I said, if you guys have any comic book needs in the Midwest area or beyond, just reach out. They're awesome and great to work with. Also, with our community here, we do just want to recognize some of our peers that are also doing this. So if you're ever looking for recommendations, first and foremost, highly recommend checking out Wednesday Comics. Also in the 605 area. They are so great. I got to see Alex today in person when we were at the shop together, and it's just so fun to have that camaraderie with other podcasts in the area. So if you guys are interested in an audio medium and want to check out an awesome podcast and a great group of guys, check out Alex Garrett and Marvin, Wednesday Comics. And then also the Rainbow Live Show is fantastic every Wednesday around 6 p.m. Central. So earlier today, they do awesome videos, which today they did an amazing video with, I believe what I saw, it was an exclusive event to Rainbow where the creators they were interviewed. So it's just a couple of videos down on the Rainbow Comics Facebook page.
So cool. Yeah, Tony Fleece and the artist, I can't remember her name, but they have Stray Dogs, a new book coming out from Image, and our good buddies Brian and Darcy got to sit down with those creators and have a really, really fun conversation. So as soon as you finish up with this, hop on over and do that. And go ahead, John. Yeah.
Chris Forshner.
Thank you so much. And so, yeah, definitely check that out. And I do want to say, yes, those are all our, our local friends. But clearly, guys, if you're watching this, many of you are watching the Comic Book Bears as well. But you must be following the Comic Book Bears clearly because they have such good interaction. John constantly gushes about how much he loves the show nonstop. So definitely be checking out those guys as well. So, yeah. Definitely.
Absolutely. Well, you guys, thank you so much again for taking time to connect with us this evening. We are your humble servants from the 605, bringing you the nerd gospel, comic book gospel. We're the choir. And we're going to look forward to another awesome week in comics coming up next Wednesday. But you guys know the drill as always. When our beer glass is empty, it's all right because we still keep it comics for sure, man.